I chewed on this phrase for a while when I was writing my book a couple years ago, and I really wrestled with whether I should put it in the book or not, and I didn't, because I didn't know if it was totally true. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I don't like to make statements that are not totally true and tell everybody it's true. I think that's a lie. The best way to build trust, do not lie. It's very simple, right? If it's a half-truth, then say it's a half-truth. Don't pass it off as a full truth. So when I say something, I always take the role of devil's advocate. Can I counter this argument? So when I tell you, you must grow an email list, I actually really believe that. When I tell you, you have to start a YouTube channel, I don't really believe that. Not for everybody. It's not for everybody, right? So here's what I was wrestling with saying in the book. I was going to write, the messenger is more important than the message. In the world of personal branding, the messenger is more important than the message. And I really wrestled with that like 3 or 4 years ago when I was working on the book. I still don't think that's totally true, but I would say this: the messenger is just as important as the message. In ancient times, when people still communicated with pigeons and messengers that they would send to another kingdom to deliver the message of their own kingdom, if the country that was receiving the message didn't like the message, you know what they did? They cut his head off. I'd hate to be that guy. But they knew what they were signing up for. That was how they communicated. It was a symbolic gesture saying, delete the email. It was the centuries way old of saying, delete the email. We're just going to cut this dude's head off, send it back in a box. You guys know that they did this, right? Human beings did this, okay? And so if I am the ruler of a kingdom and I'm trying to make peace with the people next door, I have a message, but I've got to make sure that the messenger kind of knows what they're doing, right? Because I don't want his head back in a box and us go to war because he just misplaced a word. I think in this generation, this era, this age that we're in, I would say that now. I think the messenger is just as important as the message, and I actually think it's going to become the messenger is more important than the message. And here's why. Messages are easy now. The more AI stuff that comes out, the more people crank out content. Information is going to be a commodity. How-to content will be a commodity. It won't be revolutionary. It won't be life-changing. And that can scare some of us because we think sometimes what we know is good enough. But if people like you and if they trust you and they like the people that are around you and they vibe with you, they will place that before what you say. And it's why in celebrity culture or political culture or religious culture, the halo effect is so powerful. The halo effect is when somebody is an expert in one area and they go into another area that they have no business being in, people still trust them because they trust that person's brand. Do you think celebrities sit around and think about politics? Of course not. But why are they used so often in political campaigns? And we will see this for better or worse in the next year. Why do they do that? It's because of the halo effect. They're recognizable. Podcasts are blowing up right now, and my favorite kind of podcasts to watch, that's very interesting that I say that, to watch are podcasts hosted by former athletes, like ex-athletes. LeBron James and JJ Redick have this podcast right now. It's just blowing up. What a world we live in, that current active players are not going on ESPN and TV and the regular channels. They're going on YouTube to talk about a game they just lost 3 days ago and publishing the content. This level of access is unprecedented, the direct-to-person access. And I don't like ESPN. I think all these network TV shows, I think they're going to get crushed. This is what's happening. What their last-ditch effort is to get somebody who has a huge podcast and hire them to come on ESPN. Isn't that funny? That's what's happening. Shannon Sharp just did the same thing. He got fired from FS1. You guys don't know who Shannon Sharpe is. Hall of Fame football player, Denver Broncos, Baltimore Ravens. Went on a show with this super toxic Skip Bayless, but I couldn't stop watching because they would fight all the time. So he got rid of Shannon Sharpe, and the ratings tanked because Shannon's the draw. Skip didn't know. Fool, right? Shannon goes on, starts a bunch of podcasts, has blown up completely, and guess who came knocking? ESPN. Isn't that interesting? That's how the world is working now. So what that tells me when I look at it isn't that we need better content or information. It's that people trust people. So actually, this idea of personal branding is going to become even more important. I love the people who shared this weekend, the content that they shared, but I'll be honest, and the stuff that I'm sharing is not necessarily new. You can Google how to get a TEDx talk. You can Google how to grow your email list. It's not the information that really draws you, it's the people who have the information. And then in that, trust becomes the greatest currency in this world that we're in. It's not attention. I know Alex Hormozy and all these people say, attention is the new oil, it's the new currency. Yeah, if you want a bunch of people that will click like on your post but not do anything, but most of you are not like that. And if you are, that's okay, because that's your brand, right? But the people that you serve and the people who pay you why? Because they want a deeper relationship with you. They want you to solve deeper problems, more significant problems. They don't want you to tell everybody who you work with. I posted this video a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, and I saw this happen with 3 or 4 people I knew. No, they're not in our coaching group, because otherwise I would have said something. But I just don't understand these people that say, I just landed a $20,000 client yesterday. And they post it on Instagram. That's how to lose business right away. People who pay you lots of money pay for discretion. Discretion. Right? So a lot of rookie mistakes. Now, if this was a room full of YouTubers and influencers, I would give you a different talk. Yeah, get the clicks, go supermarket tabloid arena, go that route, just say controversial things. And that would be appropriate for that audience. But you guys have built businesses similar to mine and vice versa, right? So I'm just kind of telling you what I see. Does this make sense? So you have to be comfortable in your own skin. And you have to be good at what you do, good at telling people what you do, and good at telling people that you're good at what you do. You don't have to chase all these trends if you don't want to. If you want to, you can try. It might be fun, and you might be like, wow, that was really shallow. And you'll come back and say, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that. Even if someone paid me a ton of money, I wouldn't want to do that.